Alright, so today I want to answer the question, how long do ball pythons get? And one of the reasons is because I really want to know if they get larger than 3 feet long. And that is because there's some local regulations here at the reptile shows. If you read the fine print, it says residents of Arapahoe County here in Colorado cannot buy or sell any pythons or boas that potentially get larger than 3 feet long. And I don't know where they got the 3 feet from. It seems like kind of a random, arbitrary number, and I'm starting to think maybe some of my biggest ball pythons may be larger than 3 feet. So what I'm going to do today is I want to show you how I accurately measure my ball pythons, and we're going to take a look at some of these and see if any of them are larger than 3 feet long. Alright, so I'm actually going to start with Bobby, and this is how I actually do it. As a matter of fact, it's kind of a high-tech way to measure your snake. What I actually do is I put a 12-inch ruler right next to the snake, and then I'm going to use my phone, and right above the snake, I'm going to take a picture of that snake. Matter of fact, I'm going to take a couple pictures here and see if I can get them to kind of spread out just a little bit more here. This is kind of the hard part, is getting them to sit still to where you can actually take a picture and get the whole snake. What I really want to do is kind of get them spread out a little bit more like this. If I can get them to actually spread out. I'm thinking, you know, it's really hard to measure a snake while it's actually moving. So what you really want to do is you want to spread them out quite a bit and then have let's see if I can actually do this here. Alright, so this is my technique. It'll all make sense in the end. As soon as I can get this guy kind of... Bobby just wants to run. Come on, Bobby. Easier said than done. Whew. Alright, there we go. That's a good picture. That's a good picture. Alright. Let's move on to another snake. Alright, so here's another snake. This is, I would say this might be my largest snake. This girl is really big. And we'll take a look at how big this one is. Get a picture right above the very top. She's kind of covering up her tail. I want to see the whole snake here. And I want to take a picture exactly from the very top of the snake. And then I'll show you what I do with those pictures. Alright, so you're probably wondering, why in the world did I take a picture of my snake and a ruler? And as a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that picture over here on the snake measure to get an accurate length of my snake. So this is actually a website. You can find it at serpwidgets.com. And essentially what you do is, once you get here, you can choose this file right here, and you can click on, like Bobby here, for example, and you open that, and then you click on use this image. And then once you click on use this image, essentially what it does is it comes over here and it loads that image into the software. I'm just going to zoom out just a little bit so you can kind of see the whole page. And essentially what it does is it gives you the ruler as a reference for the length, and then you can use the software to measure the length based on the reference of the length of the ruler. And really what you want to do is, when you take a picture of the snake, you have to have your camera or your phone or whatever you're using exactly top dead center right over the top of the snake, because if it's off at an angle a little bit, then it'll actually look a little bit skewed and you won't get an accurate measurement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you first how long Bobby is according to this software. So essentially it starts with the ruler right here, and then what you want to do is, I like to zoom in quite a bit so I can actually see right here, and then I click. I'm just going to click once right here on this ruler, try to get exactly on the spot right there, and then exactly the edge right here. And what that does is it sets up that length as a reference point. And then what you do is you come down here and you can say this ruler is 12 inches long right there. So you set it to 12 inches. And then as soon as you put the two links on the ruler, then it moves over to snake and you can accurately measure your snake. So essentially what you want to do is you want to just have little clicks all along the top center line of your snake. And the more little segments you have, the more accurate it is. You want to go right down the center. And I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's putting a green line right down the center of Bobby here. And essentially what you do is you go right down the whole snake, right down pretty much, I don't know if I'm getting the exactly on the center line here. I'm doing the best I can, kind of right down the ridge of his back here. And you just kind of have to go all the way to the tail, just do little tiny lines. And let me tell you, this is like putting a little string right on your snake, going all the way to the tail. And can you guess how long Bobby is all the way to the tip of the tail? I'd say he's probably maybe 2.7 feet. I don't know. Let's take a look here. Whoa, this says he's actually 4 feet 8 inches long. 4 feet 8 inches. Wow, that is interesting. Bobby is almost 5 feet long. Really? That really surprised me. 5 feet long. I'm gonna have to get out my ruler and make sure this is actually correct. Does that even look right? 1, 2, 3. That's sure enough. It looks like he's 4 feet 8 inches long, which that is totally surprising to me. I've never actually measured Bobby. Wow, that is crazy. So let's go over to this one. This is my head caramel. This one's probably going to be even longer. I've heard ball pythons can get to 6 feet, but I've never actually done this to where I've actually measured it accurately to get an accurate weight, accurate length on my snake. So what I'm going to do over here is, you can see this one is on the ruler tab. So I'm going to start again with the ruler and get an accurate measurement on the ruler from here to here. And this one again is going to be 12 inches long. And then let's go to the snake. This one's going to be quite I actually won't measure the tongue, and this one's got the tongue sticking out a little bit. But we're going to go through and measure this one. I can't even believe Bobby is that long. That is pretty amazing. That just kind of floors me. So when we're talking about the rules, any constrictors greater than 3 feet, Bobby is definitely in that category. He's definitely greater than 3 feet, which is kind of interesting. And this is kind of neat because you can put as many little segments as you want in here and kind of just go right down the spine of the snake here. It makes me wonder if you actually would put it kind of on the inside a little, but you know, I'm kind of missing the spine right here. So if you actually want to start over, you can actually hit erase. Let's see. Oh, it erases one at a time. I've never actually done the erase. Okay, here we go. So I'm actually going to go more along the dotted line of the spine here because I kind of missed it. Right down the top. It almost looks like, well, it looks like I'm pretty good up in here. I'm just gonna leave that. That looks pretty good. So let's see, where am I? Right here, coming right down the top. Let's see how long this one is. This one is gonna be really super. This is probably the biggest snake right here. This is 5 feet 9 inches long. That is pretty incredible. I didn't think my ball pythons were that long. All right, so it is time for the question of the day. And Reign Supreme asks, where did you get your magnetic labels and how did you make them? And that is a very good question. Essentially, this is what we're talking about, these little magnetic labels that I have on all my racks. They stick right on the metal and I can move them around to make a label any size with any kind of text on them. And I actually, believe it or not, I actually made these. Didn't really get the idea from anyone else, just kind of came up with the idea because I wanted a label that was easily moved from one spot to another. And essentially what I did is I went to Home Depot and at Home Depot they have these rolls of magnetic tape, and you can actually cut it with the scissors, and then it's actually a 1/2 inch wide, and then my Brother label maker is actually 1/2 inch wide. So what I do is I use my Brother labels and I stick them right to the magnetic tape, and it sticks right to the racks. One thing you have to be careful of though is if you actually go on Amazon and look for these magnetic tape rolls, I've actually seen some reviews where some of them are not very powerful magnets and they'll fall off. So I don't know what Bobby's doing on my head here again. This crazy snake. All right, Bobby, I know you're having fun here on video. Crazy snake. But anyway, that's how I make them. Never really seen them anywhere else before. And just be careful. You make sure, I always make a special trip to the hardware store to make sure I get the really good magnetic tape so I don't have a problem with them falling off. Pretty awesome little stickers. So that is pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.